everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's in the Tube, and welcome back if this is your 5th Rookie Season 4 episode review. Happy Halloween! Well, I'm recording this on Halloween. We had our Nancy Drew review come out on Halloween, so, and this is a Halloween-themed episode, but whatever the case may be, I hope you enjoyed your Halloweens. Hope everything was safe, comfortable. I ended up just staying at home because I went out the previous night to go see the new My Hero movie, so I opted to just stay in today and be half a lazy bum, half a productive bum. Yeah, so that was basically my Halloween. So today on The Rookie, we had our first Halloween episode. I think it's our first themed episode. I don't think we had a Christmas one last year or the year before. I don't remember, but I don't think we did. But this is our first technical Halloween episode, which honestly took a while longer than I expected, because I think a lot of ABC shows tend to do most television shows tend to do some sort of like holiday themed episode when they can. I'm actually surprised that it took this long for The Rookie to do so. I'm pretty sure we had reviewed one before. I could be wrong, but I guess I wasn't. But this week, not only did Pete Davidson return, which also I beg the question, who is still Pete Davidson? 2 years in, okay, he was in the Suicide Squad movie. I know that. I know he dated Ariana Grande. That was the last reference I made. All I know Pete Davidson's from is the Suicide Squad. That really is. Any spoilers, he died in the first, 15 minutes of the movie. But it was nice to see him again, because this week was I felt like, okay, they're really starting to push the boundaries of what's realistic here with this show, but honestly, the way it all ended out, it kind of made sense, and I was like, they definitely played into the horror themes this week, and I'll give them credit. It actually did work for the most part. We got zombies, sort of, on the show finally a worthy competitor to The Walking Dead, or Fear the Walking Dead, or that shit show, The Walking Dead World Beyond. Enough criticism there. I mainly viewed this episode to be a fun one. This was very fun. There was no plot elements here, nothing on the, I already forgot his name, damn. On the villain front, well, I forgot his name already. Brandon J. McLaren's character. No progress on the arson case. We got basically no progress. This was basically just like a one-off, a filler episode, if you want to call it. But it was a fun filler episode. We got to go back into some certain characters. We got to go back and just have some fun. And, I was actually very happy with this Halloween episode. So let's go for the butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of The Rookie. Ooh, I can't do a Halloween stuff. I can't. I'm not a Halloween person. I'm more of a Christmas person than Halloween. I'm being honest there. So anyway, we begin this week with, where do we begin? I think it's Chen and Tamara. I think we begin with them. I'm not sure. Oh, no. Nolan's at home. He's making some breakfast before he heads out to work. And who comes through the door? That's right, Pete Davidson's back, or Pete, as we'd like to call him. Pete Nolan. Pete Nolan. So I'm just going to call him Pete, because this is so much easier to say his name, Pete. He shows up. It seems like he's done, so I'm like, okay, we're already kicking off the zombie stuff early then. But no, he's just doing a joke. He's doing a gag just to annoy Nolan, because it's been a while. It's been, I want to say 6-7 months since they last saw each other. That was season 2. I'm pretty sure COVID probably delayed his return, but hey, he's back, and he's ready to kind of, so why is Pete back? I don't even have a funny quip for him. I really don't. But why is Pete back? After all this time, why is he back? Well, it turns out there's a chance that his girlfriend, Chastity, from the last time they were both on the show, there's a good chance she's probably pregnant. And Pete is doing what every young guy decides to do after they get a girl pregnant. They hit the road. So I'm like, Jesus Christ. So he wants to crash over at Nolan's place for a bit, and Nolan's has reluctantly no choice, because it's Nolan. He's too nice to kick him out, even though he's going to leave a woman that has a child, waiting to go. So that's sadly unfortunate for him, but Nolan has to get started on the day, so he'll focus on Pete when he gets back. Chen and Tamara enjoying their sisterhood life, making some nice hearty fruit smoothie for breakfast, but their blueberries go missing. There's some commotion across the hall, and it turns out a pair of ghost hunters are supposedly overcharging an old lady for ghost removal. $10,000. Okay, before I even begin, first of all, $10,000 is a good chunk of what I have, and second of all, there's absolutely no way I would give up even close to a quarter of that for fucking ghost removal. I'm sorry. So I'm sorry for this old lady. She's been scammed. The Ghostbusters claim to be, no, we're good people. Like, we're not scammers. Like, there's an actual ghost here. She already paid us, and she needs to pay us more if she really wants this ghost to be gone. But regardless of the case might be, Chen arrests them both, and she takes them down both to the station. I believe we don't get any of the other setup there. No. So we cut back to the station when Chen gets a call that apparently her... oh, no, yeah. We get, like, one brief cameo from Wesley this week. He's only there for a lockup case, and Chen... It's mainly to segue to the scene where Chen tells Lopez about the Ghostbuster thing, and Lopez agrees to do it because, you know, she's got nothing else going on her load, so she does that. But then Chen gets a call from a fraternity clinic, apparently, that her mother, who we haven't seen since season 3, I forgot when, the last time they spoke to each other. So apparently Chen's mom wants to get Chen's eggs frozen because she thinks Chen is not going to focus well on trying to find a suitor because of her career choice. She does feel insulted by this since A, her mother thinks she can't even focus on finding a guy for herself, and B, still not supporting the career. But, you know, at this point, they're just going to let Chen do her own thing. So that being the case there. Today's Halloween, of course, the actual day of the show. It is Halloween, so everyone's on ACH, meaning that anything could happen. So they're just going to the case like every day at this time period, like anything could happen, like, you know, anything. And they bring up a story that one time Bradford went to a house call. Turns out there was a freaking bachelorette party there, and they thought he was the stripper. So Bradford got his clothes ripped off. I swear, I would have loved to get a flashback. Like, why, of all the things we couldn't get flashbacks for, why couldn't we get a flashback? I know The Rookie's not a flashback heavy show, but I'm like, I would have loved to see that. Or make that the cold opening. Oh my god, that would have been hella funny, but no, we don't. And, you know, Bradford gets laughed up. One of the rare times he's actually the butt of the joke. Harper and Nolan are re-teaming up again since, damn, I forgot about, New Rooks, I forgot his name already. This week was so long. Like, I had my birthday last time we recorded an episode, and then afterwards, it's just been a long week for me here, so I forgot their names already. So New Rook is out to do range training, so he's not available this week. So Nolan and Harper are teamed up again, just like the good old days, except now as somewhat equals. So they head out. So it's kind of a smaller load today on the case front. Lopez tries to bargain with the ghost hunters to just get back the money, but they're refusing to. They think, like, no, we have footage, there's evidence, there is a ghost here. And Lopez is like, nah, man, nah, you give back the money, or I'm going to look up every single case you've ever done, and I will destroy your credibility, and I will make you bankrupt. So I'm pretty sure they lightened up there and just gave her the money. Nolan and Harper are on the field. They're catching up because it's been a hot stretch since they had, like, some private time, since Harper's training with her new boot, and Nolan's kind of been busy on his girlfriend front. So it's been a while since these two have caught up, and mostly we're catching up with Harper. Harper's in a really good place in her life. You know, her relationship with her daughter's good. Her relationship with her ex-husband's good. New actual boyfriend sort of is doing well. Everything's going great in Harper's life. And now Nolan decides to jinx it. And I'm like, Nolan, you really never say that sort of thing. You really don't. I'm sorry, Nolan. I love you, but, like, man, you gotta learn what you say. And that's coming from me, who have said a lot of bad things in my life, and I regret it ever since. They answer a park call, and they see a bunch of people running away from something. It's a deranged woman, but this woman looks very zombie-like, let's say that. And so they engage, and I'm like, this is just something out of The Walking Dead, or if anyone's ever seen this is a more faster one. So if anyone's ever seen the movies 28 Days Later or 28 Weeks Later, yeah, this was kind of reminding me of that. Also, I distinctly remember the sequel, and I'm just like, zombies who run are terrifying, and I sort of got, we sadly live in that world. I will commit suicide because I will not outrun a zombie. I wouldn't. It's just improbable for me to do so. So Nolan and Harper take them down using some natural, you know, some fighting moves, you know, boom, 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 boom. So, they take her out, they cuff her up, but sadly they say, she's experiencing a seizure from the drug that she took, so they had to take her into the hospital. I want to say Nolan and Harper do make a quick pit stop back to his house to catch up on Pete. I think this is when Pete does tell them, yeah, I got my girlfriend pregnant and I basically ran away from her. Nolan is not happy with that. He thinks that Pete's like, you knew what our father did to me, and now you're literally doing the same thing. But Pete's excuse is that, well, I know what he did, and I get that he came in state for me to raise me, but look how I turned it out. So I think it's better for the baby if I don't show up or if I'm not there anymore, which is kind of fucked up, and it kind of has a point. So I'm like, I don't know really what to decide here. I really don't know. They sidelined that once they get a call that their arrestee has now regained not zombie status, so they're off to the hospital to go check her out, and she is not foaming at the mouth anymore. She's not overactingly crazy, but mentally she's gone. Whatever drug she took, it destroyed and fried her brain. So now they got really no leads there. Chad and Bradford are doing a route, and they're catching up as well. They're really just talking itself about the concept. Oh well, first they talk about like Chen wanting to get her eggs frozen, and Bradford's kind of on the side like, yeah, you should get them frozen. You just don't know where your career path and your personal life's going to take you. Maybe it is better to like have some reserve just in case if something does happen. And he does explain, like, by this point, Bradford was expecting to be a father since, I still forget, he was married at one point, in the show's history. And, they did talk about their future, which did include kids and included, having a family life and, living life like that. But since obviously he and Isabella broke it off because she needed help, that wasn't entirely anymore in Bradford's plan. But Jen still says, like, well, there's still a chance, like, you might be a dad, you never know. Bradford says the same thing, but they're very heartfelt conversations interrupted by the fact that a freaking zombie starts attacking their window. And I'm just like, freaking damn, what the hell is this? Is this only going to be the fourth Walking Dead show? Like, if it ends up being the fourth Walking Dead show, I'm going to be freaking pissed, because I'm already not liking World Beyond. Fear is tolerable at times, and the main Walking Dead is kind of becoming good again. Well, they were great, now they're becoming good, so it's a downgrade. They all meet up back at the hospital, so they realize that there is something new. Whatever this is a new thing, because this is something that Bradford and Harper never dealt with before when they were younger. So forensics come in. So apparently it's a brand new drug called BombX. Nothing really known is about the drug, but all we know is that after they take it, they become a zombie and they get fucked up in the brain. That's basically all they know. So, regardless of the game, maybe their ships end and they, let the Midnight Crew kind of take it over and kind of figure it out from there. But they're not quite done just quite yet. Pete does drop by off the station, and and he's talking about like maybe there is a chance that he'll actually man up and actually go off and find Chastity and actually make things up with her and actually be a dad for him, just to satisfy Nolan a little bit. Also, I just realized in this episode, because I'm like, Chastity looks so familiar, and I'm like, I remember like, oh, that was before we started our Stargirl reviews. Chastity is Cindy from Stargirl. And I'm just thinking to myself, holy shit, I forgot about you. Well, it's not even I forgot about her. It's like, on Stargirl, she has like blonde hair, and I'm thinking to myself, well, they're on the same show. It's like, is that possible? Like, I forget, like, Stargirl's filmed months in advance. Rookie's kind of filmed like a little bit more closer to the release schedule. So I'm like, damn, that's cool. I didn't notice, and obviously it's just like it was probably just like she shot for a day or two and then that was it for her, so it's like it wasn't even that big of a deal. So that was cool for her to like, I didn't even know, like, more worlds colliding, as George from Seinfeld would say. But once Nolan is talking to Pete and realizes that Pete does know how to buy drugs and they need to find where BombX is coming from, he asked Pete to come aboard as a CI for the time being to kind of figure out where BombX is being sold, and easily Pete manages to discover it, and Nolan manages to get Bradford involved so they can go get a wiretap to go try and track him down. Lopez comes in to tell Chen tomorrow before they're heading off to a Halloween thing that, she actually did do some record keeping. Like, technically there is a case that the building might be haunted. The ghost hunters were clearly fake from the get-go, but there is a good standing that this apartment complex might be haunted, since there was a factory built here in the 20s, and then people got killed during there, so the factory got shut down, and then in the 60s it became a speakeasy, and then after that, recording studio. So there's a good chance this building might be haunted, and yeah, so they should really be a little bit concerned about that. So Lopez's like, you should maybe move out of here, and Tamara's like, no, let's go. I know a great overpass we can just stay for the night. I'm like, Tamara, Chen has money. Not a lot of money, but she has money. You don't have to go to an overpass. But I know that was the joke and everything. But
Lopez leaves and lets them be alone so they could dress up for the Halloween thing, which they're dressing up as Bonnie and Clyde, which I'm like, okay, that's an interesting combo, but regardless of the case might be. While they're getting ready, putting on their makeup and all that such, they notice there's a little breeze coming behind out the mirror in the bathroom, and once they remove the mirror, they discovered that there is a hole there, like an actual hole, which is kind of creepy. Like there's a freaking giant square cutout that leads into like the middle walls. That's kind of creepy. So they go inside and they kind of discover that someone has been living in here. He took the blueberries from the joke that Tamara and Chen had earlier in the episode. So someone's been living here, which is kind of creepy since he has access to their apartment and who knows who else's apartments. It is kind of creepy about that front. So they contact Lopez just to let her know that there is a potential squatter here in the building, and they're going to go try and find him before they head up to the party. They look around, become even more creeped on how very sneaky this guy is. And I swear to God, like when they get to the laundry room, they see all these dotted out holes, and it just indicates like, okay, A, he's been stalking like most of the tenants, but also like these holes are like, did no one in the laundry room notice? I mean, I'm pretty sure like they just leave and come back, but I'm like, I would not leave the laundry room like or a laundromat with my stuff unless I'm absolutely certain that place is locked to a key, because like I do not trust people with my clothes. Like I don't at all. They notice the squatter's there. He's gonna kill one of the other tenants. So Chen goes down, finds another hole, gets in, gets one of those like long mop things, like the ones you twist off. My dad has one downstairs. So she uses that to kind of kick his ass, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, Chen is like some Shang-Chi shit over here. And I know like Shang-Chi's like kind of a new thing, and like that's been around for some other time. I'm like, let me just mention Shang-Chi. Let me just mention it. So she easily takes him down, and Tamara's easily impressed with Chen's abilities, and the guy's put away, thankfully. Meanwhile, Harper is called upon to do a family Halloween Star Wars thing for her daughter and her ex-husband. Her ex-husband is, I'm assuming, Luke Skywalker. She's Rey Skywalker. Yeah, I remember. I still remember that movie. It was still a movie. Deal with it. And her daughter's the Mandalorian, which is honestly pretty cute. It really is cute for like. And I also forgot. Yeah, it's ABC. It's Disney. They have the rights to this. I forgot. They do. So her and Donovan are catching up. Her ex-husband, and they're doing okay. You know, they're kind of getting back into like, you know, the co-parenting groove a little bit, since we haven't seen them since season 2. Well, together since season 2. One of their neighbors confuses them as like, oh, you guys are back together? That's great. I always didn't like that ex-girlfriend of yours, Donovan. He's like, I'm still dating her. And also another thing I just remember, now it could be a different cast member, because I did not make the correlation back when we were doing the season 2 reviews. I didn't know that Harper's ex-husband was, in fact, Sousa from Agent Carter, and then also the last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I did not know that. I'm really surprised, and I'm like, that's cool. That's really cool. It's so cool that like my worlds are colliding. That I've talked about so many shows, and I've seen so many shows that like I've recognized so many people. So Halloween trick-or-treating comes to an end. They're back at home. Their daughter's passed out on the couch, and Harper and Donovan are just catching up on good times, you know, drinking some wine, you know, just catching up, you know, that sort of thing. And then we just leave them alone for a while Nolan and Bradford are overlooking Pete's purchase of the drugs. And these blue pills are very blue. I'll just say that. And the fact that these can make you become zombies, that's scary. But Pete successfully does his job. He gets the drugs, and he reports it back to Nolan and Bradford, who are impressed with him, since, you know, not once did Pete get blown. He was like a perfect drug dealer, which is kind of insulting to him, but like, you know, all out. Pete's a little bit more inclined for the money, so he decides to get the money once he gets back to the station to do another strip search, just to make sure he didn't steal any of the drugs. And also, I don't know why he would take any of the drugs, since, you know, literally people are turning to zombies and becoming brain dead afterwards. So thankfully he is very well aware of that. Nolan and Bradford follow suit to a local abandoned feeder, and they decide to head in, since the backup's going to take a while, and they decide that they're going to get away at some point for another exit, so there would be no guarantee they'll be able to like get them again. So they get inside this very creepy abandoned theater. with a working running projection of all things. They managed to get the drop on them. They cuffed them up, but sadly, one of the other people that was already there, that I'm assuming already took the drug, suddenly gets reanimated and starts attacking Nolan. He and Nolan get into a brief skirmish, but Nolan decides to kick him off the freaking balcony onto the lower level where Bradford's at. Bradford goes to check up on the body just to make sure he's dead. And even though Bradford is in the army, I know he has a little bit of muscle, I don't think checking his pulse through a rubber glove is the smartest thing, Bradford. I could be wrong, though. I'll ask my medical friends after I'm done with this episode, but you can't check a pulse like that. You really can't. But while he's checking it, the zombie briefly wakes up and starts attacking Bradford, so he and Nolan decides to double team him with some stun guns, and that manages to take him down for good. And yeah, so the Halloween matter of LA for the Rookie is now officially over. So they reported all in, I believe, in order. Well, first, the more incriminating part is that apparently Harper and Donovan had a little bit too much to drink, and they ended up sleeping with each other. Which would be okay if they were single, but they're actually still both in committed relationships with other people. So this is a no good thing, and they don't want their daughter to think like, oh, they're back together. Like, we can be a family again. Like, it really does suck when, kids do think that, especially that young, that like there's a chance their parents might come back together if they're like caught doing something together, which it was an accident at the end of the day. And Donovan does feel a little confused by it since like, they were a couple and, they were good together before Harper's career got in the way. So is this like the universe's way of telling them like, maybe there's still a chance they could try it again? But Harper's like, no, this was a one-time thing. We have our own things right now going on, and we shouldn't like retrace what we were doing just to have this moment. So we should just forget about this, make this in the past, and move on. Which Donovan sort of agrees. Plus, he just bought an engagement ring for his girlfriend, so not a good time for this sort of thing. Harper decides to leave through the window of all things. Lopez checks in on Chen and Tamara, who got little to no sleep the last night. And even though the matter's closed or whatever, they still have like a friendly debate whether or not ghosts are actually a real thing, and it isn't. But it is for me. I know for some people they don't, but like no, ghosts are real. They're a real thing. They exist. I see my grandmother's ghost, so sorry about that. Chen, they have also a little bit of a talk about the eggs. Chen decides to at least have a consultation with a fraternity doctor just to make sure, like, is it the right move for her to do it? She's not denying it, but it's still something she wants to explore and think about before she takes her mother's offer. And Tamara just makes it like a casual joke, like, oh, I'm not planning to have kids until like a year from now, and Chen gets a little bit worried because like a typical mom or sister, like that's how close they are. Like she just cares about her. Like, no, don't have sex. Don't do this. You're not ready. But we should talk about sex at some point. Tomorrow's like, no, not gonna happen. Back in Nolan's house, Pete is packing up. Even though he brought nothing with him, he's packed up, ready to go back and find Chastity and reconcile with her, and tell her like I'm ready to be a dad. I'm ready to like be this responsible figure for our child. Chastity coincidentally shows up at the same time, and he says his whole mini speech to her, but she tells her like, I'm not pregnant. And the old Pete is back is like, Holly fucking Lula. I'm not ready to be a dad. I want to go to Vegas. I want to go to a strip club. That's what's gonna happen. Thank God you're not pregnant. And no one's like, you just literally confessed your heart out, and now it's done. And Pete's like, yeah, that was the new Pete. That will be accessed maybe someday in the future, but not now. I'm the old Pete. I'm gonna go have some fun in a strip club and waste all my money. So they head off, and Pete makes the promise like, I will come back for you, Nolan. I will come back another day. And which for me, I'm like, I would be fine if we don't see him again. But I'm like, you know what? I like you, kid. I like you. Please come back. I wave goodbye to the TV. Like it's like he's saying goodbye to me. Like goodbye. I'll see you hopefully in the future. And that's where our Halloween episode for the Rookie ends for tonight. So this was a fun filler episode. This definitely does classify as just a fun holiday filler episode. Nothing important to the plot. No character development. It was just a very nice, fun one-off, so to speak. I still appreciate the fact they made all these zombie references and the freaking like ghost scene. It was a nice conversational piece to have. It was all fun in the end. Nice to get in Tamara on the fun as well. It was fun. She's always a fun character to do, especially her dynamic with Chen. I love that too. Also, I forgot Lopez dressed up as Maleficent, which I'm like, my God, of all the things she wanted to dress up, Maleficent. Okay. Your prerogative, not mine. Pete Davidson coming back was a treat. It was fun. I mean, I'm not a big Pete Davidson fan. I know so many people are from SNL, and I know that now, especially more so with the Suicide Squad movie. Look, I like the dude, and I like him here as the rookie, but that's all I get. That's all you're gonna get out of me. I'm not delving that further in. Plus, this guy gets any girl he wants, so I'm like, kudos to you, bro. Kudos to you. Again, it was nice. This was a nice, fun episode. Nice, fun one. Loved all my personal world connections from other shows. I love that at all. And overall, yeah, this was just another fun episode. Nothing much to say here. This is just a fun Halloween episode, which you should definitely check out next Halloween, because Halloween is over for us. So I think that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So I'm going to give this episode 2 thumbs up. Fun filler episode, fun Halloween times. Hopefully next week we go back to our normal routine. But that's next week. But that's going to give it to me for this week. So again, if you're unaware, this has been What's the Two from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the 4th season of The Rookie. If you want to know what we're doing normally and What's the Two besides our rookie episode reviews, we're currently doing DC Stargirl Season 2 episode reviews each and every Wednesday mornings after a brand new episode on Tuesday nights on the CW or free the next day on the CW app. We are also doing the Walker Season 2 episode reviews each and every Friday mornings after a brand new episode on Thursday nights on the CW or free the next day on the CW app. We're also doing Doom Patrol Season 3 episode reviews each and every Saturday mornings after a brand new episodes on Thursdays on HBO Max. We're also doing Nancy Drew Season 3 episode reviews each and every Sunday mornings after a brand new episode on Friday nights on the CW or free the next day on the CW app. Yesterday, we posted our 269th episode of What's in the Tube. We did a What's in the Tube After Dark special event. We talked about chemistry, the old Cinemax After Dark program. That was a lot of fun. Kind of short, but still, it was a lot of fun to delve back into those memories. So go check that out. But if you don't care about The Rookie, you're in luck. We'll be back next week with another episode review. I think we're only getting 8 episodes this first quarter for the season. I think we come back. We either end with episode 8, episode 9, so I'm not sure what the plan is. I know they're airing new episodes till the 12th, but anything could change. Anything can happen. I really don't know how many episodes they recorded. Also, I forgot to mention this during the review at the start of this. So the last time we were on, like 2 weeks ago, a lot has happened since then. If anyone was aware about the sad, tragic accident that happened on the set of Rust, the movie starring Alex Baldwin, and that whole incident with the shooting with the prop gun, or supposedly, I'm not caught up with the date. I know my dad has been telling me stuff. Alan, who was on the channel before, and a couple of other friends have been keeping me updated on that. So why does this relate to The Rookie? Well, after this accident was reported and everything happened with that, Alex Hardley and ABC announced that going forward, all Rookie, guns would be fully prop guns, like fully BB guns, never a actual live firearm on their sets. So I'm like, that's cool. I appreciate that they're trying something here, that they're like making one of the first efforts to kind of like make that turnaround. I really don't know much about that side of the world, so I really can't give my full opinion on it, because I really don't. I need more time to think about it and more time to read about it. But it's cool. It's a good decision. Go get them. I'm happy for them that they're making this call right away, and it's not going to affect the quality of the show either way. So we'll just keep going from there. But again, if you're unaware, this has been What's the Two from ActionX. Please subscribe to us on youtube.com/ActionXvideos. Ring that bell for notification when our next rookie review is live, which is each and every Monday mornings normally. Today, because of the chemistry takeover, we had to push it back to Tuesday mornings. But we'll be back next week on our usual time slot on Mondays. Please also like, favorite, share this review if you want to, but it helps us get us out there to other members of the Rookie Nation who have yet to discover us. Helps us beat up that YouTube algorithm that hates me ever so much in life, and as well as sharing us for free here on the interwebs. And also, please follow us on social media to stay up to date with any sort of updates for the channel. But until then, until next time, for all you members of the Rookie Nation, I'll see y'all next week. But until then, stay safe out there, be good to each other, and as always, peace out.